We played a lot of video games every single day, and we know we all grew up with a lot of video games that everybody else used to play. But I'm gonna tell people this that video games are also meant for entertainment purposes and always good reasons why people should play video games all the time. But I'm gonna tell people this that there's a lot of games out there in the world that are actually really cool that was from back in the day. So let me tell you the coolest thing that I played all the time when I was younger. So let me tell you, classic game of all time and most loved, or anything like that. Some people be like, "Why you want to play these type of games?" Because playing old games is fun. Because it's something that we grew up with, and also rest in peace to all of the greatest creators that developed all of our favorite games from 10 to 15 years ago. And also a quick brief update or a quick moment. Let's Let's say our prayers and peace and love to one of the developers or creators of Call of Duty Modern Warfare. But enough about me talking about some sad moment. I just want to get that out the way because some people might be sad about that information. Because let me tell people this: nostalgia is dying pretty badly right now, okay? Nostalgia is dying pretty badly, and I'm a little bit concerned. But enough about me rambling all the time. Let me tell you why I love these type of games. So I can tell you a classic game that everybody would like, and that is Pac-Man. Now we all know we're familiar with Pac-Man, right? But there's a certain type of Pac-Man game that I love, and that was Pac-Man World 2. Now I mentioned it before in a previous video from a long time ago, but I'm gonna tell you this: that Pac-Man used to be the game for me, but it's not the game because I only had two games that I loved on there that's Pac-Man based. Well, I'm not saying I don't love Pac-Man, but I love all the games that they come out with, especially when they came out with the remake of Pac-Man World 2. Tell me that is not cool. I mean, that is a cool thing for me to figure that out, but I can tell people this that Pac-Man is one of the games that everybody used to play all the time. Literally all the time. And I also love the game because it's nostalgia, great music, great everything else. I mean, it's even more better than all the other games that everybody used to play. No, seriously, it's literally all better than the other games that people used to play. But now that I'm done rambling for this section, because honestly, everybody loves Pac-Man, and we all love him too. I know some people kind of like the Ghostly Adventures. Maybe if you guys like that game, go ahead and feel free to comment that down below, because I don't know, some people like that game because Pac-Man was not very good in moderation, like Pac-Man and Ghostly Adventures. I know that was kind of so-so-ish, but I actually did love it. But another type of game that everybody should be somewhat familiar with is, I mentioned this also before in the previous videos, that I love Super Mario 3D Land on the DS. It was really fun, okay, or 3D World or whatever it was called. But it had the best soundtrack, best leveling system, and it was also one of the most funnest games ever because I remember playing that game all the time. It was pretty hard though because I remember some of the levels were not easy, and some of the levels were kind of interesting because most of the gameplay is kind of based on the what we had in the current Mario era of 2007 to 2015. So that was the kind of new moderation of what we had back then. But also, it was also very interesting because I love the levels, how they switch between them. Like you play as Luigi and then you play as Mario, but both of the worlds are good. And they're not that very hard because, some of them require a little bit of knowledge and skill, and some of them require, oh, this is just easy. I can just skip the level. I remember some of the ones that had the cool little, I don't know what it's called, but the little things that make you move around and has a giant arrow and you move around it. And I think I remember somebody said oh, this level is easy. I can just easily jump all the way to the bottom and complete this whole entire level. And also, I remember that the Bowser level also had that feature too with the minecart system. I don't know what it's called. I said the minecart system. I'm not playing Minecraft right now. Why am I saying Minecraft stuff? But anyways, I would say that level is actually pretty fun. So I do appreciate that kind of level. But also there's another type of level that a lot of people might be like familiar with in this type of game. And let me tell you what game that is. Call of Duty, the video games. Now, I know this is like not in somewhat of nostalgic from like, oh, this is something from like 20 to 30 years ago. Not in that time span. This is something that literally sparked in, oh, the YouTube era. Oh, shooting games. Oh, anything. Because let me tell you this was literally the game that everybody played to the core. Black Ops played. What else? Freaking Ghosts played mostly. Warfare played. Like it it literally was the game of like the years of all time in moderation of like video games. I know that Minecraft is like actually way up there, but also Call of Duty is way up there as well, and also GTA 5 and then all the others. But I'm gonna tell people this. I'm really kind of concerned that we're losing all of our favorite folks because some of our favorite video game creators are passing away. Yes, they're literally drifting from our very eyes, and now that we're worried because in the new age of moderation, it kind of sucks, don't you think? I mean, the 2020 eras was supposed to be something that we were actually supposed to be excited for versus like what we kind of were expecting right now. But I'm gonna tell people this: video games are starting to become like an era of like, oh, this is something good that we can go look at for a while because classic games used to literally brought us together. It literally did. Video games literally brought us together. So now that y'all telling me that video game creators are like passing away, that's starting to cause like a commotional problem because now we're concerned because now we don't know what's going to happen later on in the future when like the world of gaming is going to change. I mean, sure, we got the new age of video game moderation, such as MetaQuest and everything else, but I'm gonna tell people this: like the new age from like classic console games, from classic video games, from like Resident Evil, Zelda, da 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 da, all of those classic games that everybody used to play. So I will tell people this that video games are supposed to be meant for something that we can hold on dearly and cherish for the rest of our lives that we used to have in our childhood. So if you're telling me that our favorite creators are passing away or moving on or like the company doesn't exist no more, then that's kind of scary because now that we know that this is happening in the end of 2025. Ooh, yeah, that's kind of scary. But, anyways, guys, I think that's just enough about me rambling about stuff. I guess mostly I'm just talking about the new age of nostalgia because it turns out nostalgia is not even going to be a thing anymore. So, let's just say, let's just say nostalgia is not going to be a thing anymore. And then also, you remember that one girl said off of that Charlie XCX music video of 360 when she said like the race of like the women will be gone like forever? That's kind of where we are right now. So if y'all do agree with this statement, I would say this, and I'll end off with a quote that video games of nostalgia era video games of nostalgia era are fading away slowly as we speak, basically. So I am pretty concerned, but hopefully eventually that video games will I'm kind of laughing, but also terrified, but also kind of sad, but also confused. I don't know. I'm getting mixed feelings consecutively. I don't know what should I feel right now about this kind of thing, but I'm gonna tell people this: that video games are fading away, and we need to make sure that we stay on track all the time. Keep in touch with the past, no matter what happens. Old maybe not gold all the time, and new is something right thing to do. I know I said this previously on like one of these kind of things out there somewhere. Well, actually, I never said this before, so I'm just probably saying something like this right now. But basically, I'm saying like video games are supposed to be held on forever, no matter how long ago it was. And remember, children, video games are supposed to be for fun and nostalgia and entertaining and non whatever people claim it to be. But anyways, that's me about talk. That's just me talking about random stuff about video games and nostalgia. I know I didn't briefly talk about anything that video games we used to play, but I might as well make a part two of this kind of video. So if you guys want a part two of this, just feel free to like and subscribe. And just comment down below if y'all want to see me doing more stuff. Because I will, because next year is going to be good. I promise. So, anyways, I guess that's me saying stuff about video games. Anyways, I'll talk to you guys later and do all that stuff. So, anyways, I'll see you guys later. Stay safe, blessed, and everything else in the world. Seriously, stay blessed because you will be good. All right. Peace.